Welcome back. It's 5:48. We're on the final furlong. I'm Martin Daubney on GB News. Now, an innocent shopper was wrongly accused of stealing and frog-marched out of a store after a technical issue with facial recognition, which is used by various high street chains. Now, the woman said an employee at Home Bargains accused her of shoplifting when she was wrongly flagged by a system known as FaceWatch and was left in tears as a result. So I can now speak with futurist and lawyer Andrew Eborn, who joins me in the studio.
Great to see you as always, Martin.
A case of mistaken identity.
Again.
You may say, but as you say, we covered this before. In fact, the last story we did on this, a man in America was wrongly jailed as a result of whodunit. Wasn't him. Now it's happening in Britain.
And it will happen more and more. So it's completely scandalous that people get wrongly treated. I'll put this into context. 1.8 billion is lost by retailers to shoplifting.
Yeah.
What the AI software can do is identify people who may be likely to shoplift. And it's not just about previous criminal records, but they can tell patterns of behaviour. They can tell not just by your face, but also by how you walk, how you move. It's brilliant. And if you go into... So I looked at this wonderful software, for example, in casinos. They can tell if somebody's going to get a bit grumpy because they've lost bets, because they get agitated. It sort of goes into the database and said, this is a pattern of behaviour. The question is, what do you do with that information?
Yeah.
And what happened to this unfortunate lady, and it's widely reported, is she wanted to have a bar of chocolate, went into this store, she went there and said, hang on, you're a thief, and you can't come here, and you can't go into any other stores at all. That is defamatory. And because it's defamation, they should have a right sort of action. What they need to do is to utilise the software in a way which will prevent theft and so on and so forth. So you'll basically alert people to the suspicions and then watch them a bit closer rather than go in directly with the accusation.
Now, the Metropolitan Police use this technology routinely, not just supermarkets, Budgeons, Sports Direct, Southern Co-ops and cost cutters. But the Metropolitan Police say they use this tech to remove violent and predatory offenders from London streets. And that has included 7 arrests for sex offenders, sexual harm prevention orders, terrorism, and even breaching non-molestation orders. So it does have its use, but when it goes wrong, it can blind lives.
And actually, the vast majority of times, it's incredibly useful. And they turn on, it's a very small percentage, and it's still wrong for that percentage, of people who've used it incorrectly. My advice would be work out, say, highlight this as a risk, and as a result, just identify, watch that person carefully. But a number of countries around the world have said we shouldn't have this, because it's a breach of all sorts of rules and regulations and GDPR and that sort of stuff. So we have to be very, very careful. It's incredibly powerful to deal with that massive loss, and shoplifters, as a result, we should be very, very careful, but we have to make sure that it's preserved for those who are innocent.
Superb. Andrew Eborn, technology was meant to help us. As we often discuss with you, it can hinder us. Thanks for joining us, as ever. A delight to have you on this Bank Holiday Monday. Now, moving on, who wants some cheese? Well, in Gloucestershire, there's more than enough to go around as the annual Cheese Rolling Festival took place today. Competitors have been racing down Cooper's Hill, as you can see on your screens there, chasing a double Gloucester cheese wheel. The cheese was pasteurised. It goes pasteurised at 70 miles an hour. Now, there were thrills and spills, and competitors are warned of the risks of injury before taking part. Now, winners included competitors from Germany, America and Australia, with the 4th and final men's race won by Brit and local hero Josh Shepherd. Well, earlier today, GB News reporter Jack Carson caught up with a couple of those big cheese winners.
Slightly surprised, but I said I was going to win it, so managed to do it. I wasn't quite sure that if I had or not. I knew there were a lot of people coming in pretty fast, so yeah, I put in the effort when I could.
I just remember rolling down and my face getting beat up again and flying down, and I was just thinking to myself, like, there's only going to be a few seconds. I'm going to get to the bottom at some point and then it'll be over. I found out about it years ago on the internet. Your rabbit holes on YouTube leads you to weird places, but I wanted to defend my title again. 2 years I did it. I was in the right place at the right time, so I traveled to here to do it, and this year I wanted to do it again to defend my title.
Superb stuff. And I was only a mile away from that site yesterday, and the Cheese Runners pub, they serve scrumpy there. They don't know how strong it is. How strong is that? Well, it was 8%, they say, and that's their local idea of painkiller. Now, I want to end with a very, very funny email. I've been waiting to get through all the show. Vince says this on Sir Keir Starmer's launch, day one of the Labour Party campaign today, of course. He says this: I'm waiting for Sir Keir Starmer to say this: you can trust me on defence, because I've been sitting on defence for years. Vince... And Eborn likes that. I can see what he did there, Vince. Have a bank holiday biscuit bonus. Very, very funny. And indeed, on that last point there, Keith, on cheese and politics, says this: our big cheesers in politics, well, they need rolling down a hill. Well, a great way to end it. Now, that's all from me.